Orson Welles famously said you can learn everything about filmmaking in a weekend, but you can't learn about acting in a weekend.
A great performance can turn a good movie into an unforgettable one.
Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother!
Such performances are achieved not just through one actor's skill, but through the crucial relationship between an actor and a director.
Found myself to have good relationships with actors through honesty, really.
It is this complex collaboration which lies at the heart of filmmaking.
I've abandoned my child!
This is How to Direct Actors. Before we begin, subscribe to Studio Binder and enable notifications to stay up to date on all our filmmaking videos.
Tip for everybody. Don't miss it, please.
Ask 10 directors to define their job and you will get 10 different answers.
The ability to see what other people can do and I can translate that somehow.
For me, I think it's not be precious. It's to sort of be in a situation where you're sort of always searching and looking for possibilities.
Directing is the most overrated job in the world.
Most directors agree that the job comes down to making decisions. A director consults with the various department heads in the filmmaking process to create a cohesive vision.
What do you think? I like it.
They translate the screenplay onto the screen. And perhaps the most important part of this translation process is working closely with the cast.
At the end of the day, it's about performance and it's about your relationship with the actors. I mean, you look at your squad and that's an extraordinary group as well.
From the beginning of their involvement with a project, a director must ensure that an actor will be able to embody their given character.
The director doesn't want her.
This goal guides every step of the process, from casting and rehearsing to giving notes and allowing for spontaneity on set.
No, Kelly Clarkson!
Of course, there is no one formula for directing actors. The process depends on the film's subject matter, as well as the preferred approaches of both director and actors.
I'm a star!
That said, there are rules of thumb that many directors generally subscribe to, beginning with strategies for casting and rehearsals.
Oh, you know what? I think we're good. Thanks for coming in.
Finding the right actor for a role is critical to a film's success.
Wendy, I'm home.
Different filmmakers have different approaches to casting.
If you don't mind my saying, Mr. Torrance, you seem put upon.
For director Robert Altman, casting was a process of discovery and invention. His goal was to find actors which brought something new to his perception of the characters.
But the minute these actors come in and take those roles and they invest them with something that I've never seen before, ideas, thoughts, and I see them come to life as real people, I have got to be in a state of surprise.
Bad news. What?
Francis Ford Coppola had a more specific vision for Captain Willard, leading him away from an actor like Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Keitel was hired on, and then he was fired by you over whatever differences or whatever
No
happened.
differences. I didn't feel 100% that he was right for that part because Harvey's a exciting, talented, improvisational actor, but the character of Willard was more of a witness of the thing. You know, he had to be able to just look at these things and not be all the time active.
Everything I saw told me that Kurtz had gone insane.
Deciding on an actor will often mean watching their previous work and holding auditions. For the Coen brothers, the auditioning process is crucial.
We really don't like meeting actors unless they're reading, because we discovered that we can't tell anything about their suitability for a part unless they're actually doing the same.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Other directors prefer to discuss the character with the actor before having them read. Sterling Hayden explains that this was how Stanley Kubrick approached him.
Well, I was a little hurt, actually, because he said, I want you to play a man named General Jack Ripper. He described what Ripper was, and I thought, he must think I'm one of the boys on the right. And he said, well, it's because of the fact that you're against that character that he said, I think it might work out. So I figured, okay. War is too important to be left to politicians. They have neither the time, the training, nor the inclination for strategic thought.
For many directors, it's critical that actors understand the intention of the film that they are signing onto.
Nope. Nope.
And more specifically, that the actor understands their character inside and out. Jordan Peele explains.
Every one of these people sort of holds half the key to the character. We've discussed together. The whole hope for me as a collaborator is at some point my actor is going to understand the character better than I can.
One day, the Shadow realized she was being tested by God.
Of course, the casting process also requires a director to sell their vision to potential actors. Sofia Coppola worked tirelessly to get Bill Murray for Lost in Translation.
I spent months stalking him, and luckily, Wes Anderson was nice to me, and Mitch Glazer, my friend who's a friend of his, put in a good word for me. I sent letters, and as a director, you have to persevere and have that kind of persistence, and people have to say no to you 100 times, and you can't give up, and that's part of, I think, being a director.
So what are you doing here?
A couple of things. Taking a break from my wife, forgetting my son's birthday, and getting paid $2 million to endorse a whiskey when I could be doing a play somewhere.
Once a cast is assembled, the rehearsing begins.
Right. You're the impetuous one. He's the one who's waited 30 years for this.
For many directors and actors, the rehearsal provides space for experimentation that they wouldn't have time for on set.
I'm not a kid. You know I hate it when
you have about as much control over the situation as a child.
For Greta Gerwig, rehearsing is integral.
And I think that if you get good actors who know what they're doing, they're only going to get deeper and better by having rehearsal. And so I think it's really about the rehearsal process more than anything else, because once you're shooting it, you're really shooting a schedule. So you got to keep going. And so the time to be creative and try things out is in rehearsal.
Please, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I appreciate everything you've done for me. I'm ungrateful, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I wanted more.
Jane Campion uses the rehearsal space as a time to build a connection with her actors, while letting them work into their characters.
I like people to feel that I've got, a really deep trust in their process, because I don't expect them to be there immediately. And yeah, I've come to, see that time and time again. It is a process, and that people take time to find themselves in the space. And obviously you've chosen them because you've seen them do lots of amazing things.
Do you mind quietening? We're eating.
Shut that down or I will!
Some directors use rehearsals more sparingly. For Christopher Nolan, rehearsal is used simply to nail down logistics, especially for more emotionally demanding scenes.
You tend to just treat the rehearsal as a fairly simple blocking rehearsal, figuring out where to put the camera, the order in which to shoot the scene, that kind of thing. And you let the actors save something for what they're going to do.
I don't want there to be any hard feelings between us, Harvey.
Other directors, meanwhile, forego the rehearsal process altogether. This has become the preferred method of Steven Spielberg.
When I was younger, I used to rehearse, and some of the greatest scenes I ever saw were played out in front of me with no camera to capture it for anybody else. And then we got to the set, sometimes I couldn't recapture the magic of having an actor with another actor play a scene for the first time. It should happen in front of a camera, not in a rehearsal hall, for me.
So 1,100 men went in the war. 316 men come out. The Sharks took the rest June the 29th, 1945.
Whatever the approach, the work with actors that occurs in pre-production will have a massive effect on the performances that occur on set. Once the cameras are rolling, a director must be skilled at giving notes.
In this scene, you're hurting inside. You're hurting inside. You're not sure who to trust. You want to run. You want to run into the arms of your beloved. Okay, you ready to do one?
A set can be a stressful place, with lots of moving parts and a ticking clock. A large part of a director's job is to ensure that they don't lose sight of the story. And this means getting the performances the story needs. This often means that a director needs to give clear and effective notes.
He's got to kind of come here to tip her.
The sleeper still feels falling. Or tipping.
For notes to really work, an actor must believe that they are in good hands. And this means building a mutual trust. For Ryan Coogler, this was key when working with actors as a young director.
You know, it was my first time making a feature film. I was unsure about a lot of things. And what I tried to do with my actors was honest. Like, I tell them what I was going for, but and always being open to them, you know what I mean? And I think that in many ways they responded to that.
You gotta tell her I love her. Tell her I ain't never gonna
Tell her
leave
yourself. The next time you call home, you tell her yourself. Or better yet, let her come visit you here.
Yeah, but I don't. She don't need to be exposed.
You already exposed it.
Once a foundation of trust is built, notes feel more collaborative and less like orders. This is true for even the most controlling directors like Wes Anderson. Adrian Brody explains.
The one thing about Wes is he's very kind and thoughtful, and even though there's all this specificity in his work, it is collaborative, you're finding things, it's playful, very alive.
Call the police! We're pressing charges. This criminal has plagued my family for nearly 20 years. He's a ruthless adventurer and a con artist who preys on mentally feeble, sick old ladies. And he probably f***s them, too.
I go to bed with all my friends.
Building a collaborative spirit when giving notes allows an actor to still have freedom in their performance choices.
To you, he's like a movie star because of your interest in paleontology. This is everybody else's equivalent of a Tom Cruise or a Kevin Costner or a Sam Neill.
Orson Welles argued that a director's role is really in service to an actor.
I think that a director ought to be the assistant and the foundation of a performance. And I think that is a very difficult job.
Good notes are also ones which are clear. Alfred Hitchcock prided himself on giving direct, straightforward instructions.
He said, look here, look there, look down, look across, move around.
And go home.
And then you may go home.
For Quentin Tarantino, meanwhile, a good note is one which doesn't overwhelm an actor.
It's about being specific about what you're saying, because if you're arbitrary, they're a fish looking for water.
Being good at giving notes also means knowing when not to give a note. Overnoting an actor can overwhelm them and end up being detrimental to their work. This is especially true if a filmmaker has already worked extensively with the actor on their character prior to shooting. As David Cronenberg explains,
I leave them alone, the actors. Get good actors and then let them be good. It's not that you don't do work with the actor, but a lot of it happens before you get on the set. You're talking to them about the script, about the character, you're working with them. You block the scene with them, yes, but then I feel like I'm shooting something that I've discovered. It's almost like found art.
After we have suffered, after we've exhausted the fountain of memory and bloodied our hands on the walls of our parents' house.
Ideally, giving notes allows a director to achieve their vision. Many directors also embrace spontaneity. Spontaneity can take many forms, from doing slight variations on deliveries
The whole time you would. The whole time!
to improvising entire scenes. A certain level of spontaneity is unavoidable. No matter how intricately a director plans out a shoot, they must expect the unexpected. It is often said that acting is reacting. And the same is true for directing. Kelly Reichardt explains.
While you're making a film, you're letting go of everything you've planned, and you're opening yourself up to the living thing that's happening in front of you. But that's what's exciting about it too, you know, is like there's things you didn't think of, and there's just people responding to each other, responding to animals, or responding to weather, and it's different, yeah.
A sign! A sign!
Calm down, please.
They made it! They're giving him orders!
It's nothing.
You'll see!
Step up!
We'll all see!
Come on, calm down.
Different directors embrace this spontaneity to different degrees. John Cassavetes embraced the use of improvisation in film. His longtime collaborator, Gina Rowlands, discussed how he kept his cast on their toes.
There would always be a scene or one scene, and he wouldn't tell you what was going to happen or what, it would just spring it on you. And so there would always be an improvised scene, and they were fun because you never knew when they were coming.
When done well, this level of improvisation can make a scene feel authentic, with naturalistic dialogue and real reactions. Of course, this approach requires a deep knowledge of character.
He said, I gave you the part, don't ask me. You, as an actor, should know more about this character than anybody now in the world. It's for you to bring it to life.
You want a drink, Seth? You want a martini, Seth? You want to have a little fun, Seth? You don't mind making a drink, do you?
No, I don't.
Nah.
Improvisation can also be great for comedy, allowing directors to hear jokes on set and see what's working and what isn't. Director Judd Apatow is famous for this strategy and considers it another form of writing.
It's more rewriting on its feet. You know, as soon as the actors are up doing the scene, I always think, oh, now I know what it is. Give me 5 minutes, and I try to write, adjustments. And I like to get a lot of alternate material because when I'm in editing, sometimes the joke you thought was funny on the day is not funny.
Right.
If you shave, then you have to pay all 5 of our rents.
Hey, Martin, was it weird when you joined the Taliban, being American and everything like that?
Just watch your back, Serpico. You never know who your friends are.
Your face looks like Robin Williams' knuckles.
Less intentional, unstructured improvisation, however, can backfire, especially for films with a more intricate storyline. As Darren Aronofsky notes,
the only issue when you start to play with words is that very easily actors can stumble onto words and ideas that are reflected in other parts of the script.
Do you ever get the feeling that people are incapable of not caring? People are amazing.
But spontaneity doesn't just mean coming up with dialogue on the spot. An actor's performance is made up of thousands of small choices in emotion, tone, and movement. And they can decide to change some or all of those choices from take to take. Martin Scorsese says that this is Robert De Niro's preferred method.
This means something over here. I mean, I could do this if you want. Or I had an idea. I had another idea. Let me just try it. I won't even tell you what it is. And great. When he says that, then I shoot, because something explosive happens.
Look in my eyes. Look in my eyes. You know me. Do you see anything in these eyes that makes you think I would ever let someone in your condition take my child away from me?
This type of versatility can sometimes come out by doing a large number of takes. Many people think directors who do lots of takes are controlling and looking for a specific performance. But sometimes they are looking for just the opposite. As Steve McQueen explains,
it's all about choices and thinking through the process of what you're trying to do at a certain time. Sometimes you exhaust the situation and all of a sudden the answer comes, aha, turn it around the other way.
He learned you to read?
A word here or there. But I've no understanding of the written text.
Don't trouble yourself with it. Same as the rest, Master brought you here to work, that's all. Any more, I'll earn you 100 lashes.
Directing actors is an art form. A great performance can seem like a small miracle, but it doesn't come out of nowhere. It's an accomplishment built from the close collaboration between an actor and a director, and the hard work both parties put into casting and rehearsing, giving and taking notes, and embracing spontaneity.
Hey! Now lay your palm flat on that tabletop!
Great actors want great scripts. Start writing yours with Studio Binder's screenwriting software. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to stay up to date on all our future videos. That's all for now. You know what to do. Time to go off book.
Yeah, there was one line that when I find the money, what ends up in the movie is, But we tried different ones, I think. I think we tried and then we tried and then we came up with
better. Still my wise choice, wasn't it?
Favorite speech in the movie.